my dear students. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Ibrahim.
Good morning, Mr. Rahman. Good morning, everybody. Bismillah. Let's start here, guys. Let's complete what we began yesterday. Okay. As you know, guys, yesterday we started to estimate the area of this function x squared plus 1 of the closed interval 0 to 2 by using the definite integral and approximation.
Yes.
And we said that using the definite integral, directly we integrate and then substitute. In this example, we got an exact area value of 4.67 with approximation. The approximation either from right or from left or midpoint rule. From the left, you should divide your interval into subintervals. Okay, from 0 to 2, you should divide here from 0 to 2 into 4 rectangles. Okay, you can divide it into 8 rectangles and the answer will be more accurate and so on. From 0 to 2, لو عملنا divide 4 intervals, 4 subintervals, we have 0, 0.5, 1, and 1.5, and 2. Why it's equidistant? Because delta x is b minus a over n, and we decide that the n will be 4 here. 2 minus 0 over 4 is half, such that 2 is b and 0 is a, okay, and 4 is the number of subintervals. So the width of each subinterval is delta x, and here delta x is half. From the left, we have to take only the leftmost points, 0, 0.5, 1, and 1.5, and then find f of 0, f of 0.5, f of 1, and f of 1.5, and so on like this. So it's from the left, it's underestimate. From the right, we take only the rightmost point, like 2, 1.5, 1, and 0.5, and we should multiply delta x by f of 2, f of 1, plus f of 1.5, f of 1, f of 0.5, and then calculate it. So overestimate. And if you average the two approximation from right and left, they're gonna give you an accurate answer, 4.75, which is the same as the exact answer. The third kind of approximation for the area is midpoint, and we said that a equals delta x. بس بناخد midpoints between each point and the next one, like the midpoint between 0 and 0.5, and so on, between 0.5 and 1, between 1 and 1.5, between 1.5 and 2. بناخد midpoints between them and then work on the midpoints. And as you see, finally, I compared the all approximations together. And with the exact answer, I got that the most accurate one is the midpoint. Okay, then I think that we started to graph here the 3 types of approximation we have for this function x squared plus 1. And we stopped here. It's not correct. I should draw it like this. Yes, the same. But we're gonna come from here 0, and then we said 0.5, and then 1, and then 1.5, and then what? And then 2. And the points حط لها points عادي, and 2 and a value, 1.5 and the value, 1 and a value, up here 0.5 and the value. Yes, you should make first the horizontal lines like this, and then connect the points. Okay, when it's not equidistant, no problem. You will find that some of it is above and some is below. Some is above and some is below. Okay. These 2 lines are connected together. Okay, here. Okay, and the 2 exactly. We have to draw a line and cross out this one. You will find that there is part above the curve and part of the rectangle is below the curve. So here up and down, some of them above and some of them below. So it's the most accurate. The over and the underestimate are equal. Let's take, guys, one more example. I would like one of you to do it the same as we did yesterday. The function now is x cubed. The function now is x cubed. I would like to estimate the area on the closed interval 3 to 9. You can do it. You can approximate the area from the left endpoint and from the right endpoint and from the midpoint rule.
بس احنا قلنا left over estimate صح؟
left بيكون over the right and the
Yes.
estimate, and the midpoint is the most accurate. Okay, so here in only the increasing functions. Okay, in the decreasing function like 1 over x, the left will be underestimated and the right will be overestimated. Okay, f of x equal x cubed. Let's start first by finding what, guys. Let's look quickly how to do your steps. We'll find delta x, which is the width of subintervals. Since you have here distance from 3 to 9, and you decided that you're going to use n equals 4, so we have 4 intervals, small 4 subintervals. So 3, and sure, delta x first, delta x, which is b minus a over n. The b is 9 minus a is 3. Up here, guys, here is a and here is what? B over the 4, which is 6 over 4. It can be written as 3 over 2, as a decimal 1.5. So the next point here will be 4.5, and add up 1.5 to 4.5 gives 6. 6 plus 1.5 gives 7.5, and sorry for the distance are not equidistant between each number and the next. خلينا نشوف 9 شوية نجيبها هنا.
بس الان مستر كيف جبناها مستر؟
هنا انت بتقررها من عندك. ممكن اخليها 8 ممكن اخليها 12
ايه لو
and the
كنا
more you
كانت
increase the
اكتر
number of rectangles
اوكي
the more accurate
كانت
answer you're gonna
accurate.
get. But when it's 8, for example, 6 over 8, it's 3 over 4, which is 0.5 0.75 0.75 يعني 3 بعدين 3.75 and so on. So you have 8 subintervals, 9 points, but now 4 subintervals, 5 points. Okay, so we used n as 4, and the delta x here represents the width of each subinterval. The width of each subinterval. Right. Next steps to start from the left. As they start, find the area using the left endpoint rule, which is what? Delta x, open bracket, and take here the points from the left side. Like 3, like 4.5, like 6, like what? 7.5. 1, 2, 3, 4 points. لازم اخذ 4 points, and then find the f of 3 plus f of 4.5. Prepare your calculator, please. F of 6 plus f of 7.5, and then close your bracket. You can calculate for me here. What's delta x? 1.5, and 3 over 2 from the previous step. And now f of 3 means 3 to the power of 3, which is 27, plus f of 4.5, 4.5 cubed. .5 cubed. 4.5 cubed. 4.5 cubed. ما فيش حد معاه كالكوليتر ولا مكسرين؟
91.125.
4.5 times 4.5. Yes, yeah, Omar, thank you. 91.125. Yes, plus f of 6, easy here, it's 216. f of 7.5, 7.5 times 7.5 times 7.5.
421.
I'll do it here in my mobile since there is no calculator in our. يلا 1.5. يلا نعمل add plus 216 plus 91.125
يطلع
plus
مستر الجواب آخر شيء
27 multiplied by 1.5. Yes,
1134.
1134. Okay. This is from the left. حلو. Okay, so from the right, we can do it from the right, and you find the area using the rightmost points.
أنا
The
مستر
right, 9 and 7.5 and 6 and 4.5. So the same delta x 1.5 and open bracket, and then pick the points from the right, which is f of 9. Find f of 9 plus f of 7.5 and plus f of 6 وبعدين plus f of 4.5 بس and don't pick guys 3. يبقى لما تاخد الليفت بتسيب ال 9، بتاخد الرايت بتكون جاي من الرايت like this بتسيب ال 3. So calculation now 1.5 and now f of 9, 9 to the power of third, which is 729. 729. F of 7.5 ahead. 4 to 1.875 plus F of 6. Huh? With me? F of 4 point, which is 1 to okay. بجيبها من فوق لأن حسبناها مرة. طيب equal
2187.
كم؟
2187.
2187. Right. Okay, the final approximation, which is area midpoint. Oh, we have to find the midpoints here. Yes, yeah. The midpoint between 3 and 4.5, which is 3 plus 4.5, and then divide by 2 gives you 3.75, which is in the halfway between 3 and 4.5. The halfway here, the midpoint in 4 with 6, it's what, 5.25?
5.25.
لا والله طيب اوكي طيب the midpoint here between 6 and 7.5 6.75 right
Yeah.
6.75 باين صح
Yes.
طيب 7.5 plus 9 and then divide by 2 it's 8.25
8.25.
8.25 yes تعالى تحت نجيب ال AM يعني A using the midpoints 1.5 which is the width. You know area of rectangle length by width. The width is 1.5 constant. The width here is constant. طلع rectangle فوق كده. Okay, so the width is constant which is 1.5. The distance between 3 and 4.5 أو the distance between any two consecutive points. And the height is changeable. The height is the value of f of 9 or f of 7.5 or okay. So we have to find f of 3.75 plus f of the next midpoint, which is 5.25 plus f of 6.25, yes, plus f of 8.25. And when I say f of means we have to substitute up there in the function نفسها. يعني مثلا f of 3.75 is 3.75 cubed.
52.7.
Okay, so 52.7. Hello. And f of 5.25 is
144.7.
sure 5.20. طيب f of 6.25
244.14.
what
244.14.
144.14
161.51.
اللي بعدها 161
561.
what
561.
561.51.
no this is not correct right yeah what again please
561.51.
561.51 when we add up all of them on the calculator and multiply our answer by 1.5 gonna give us here the area. It should be near to the exact value, and we will find the exact value here. the area using the integral from A to B of f of x dx. طبعا أنا منتظر الأنسر for here
1504.
1504.
Yes.
طيب تعال نشوف شباب how to find it by using the integral from what to what, from 3 to 9. The lower, it's bounded between 3 and 9, the area. From 3 to 9. So A is 3, B is 9. The function can execute dx. How to integrate? Add
Add
1 to
one,
the exponent and
then divide by 4.
new exponent 4. And this all ما تقولش بلس 3 بقول from 3 to 9. هنحسبها from 3 to 9 بس ببدأ دايما from the 9. So it's 9 to the power of 4 over 4 minus always
3
always
to the
minus
power of 4
3 to the
over
power
4.
of 4 over 4 equal
It would be equal 1620
1620
and 20.
yeah طيب شوف بقى الانسر هنا 1620 and here from the midpoint and here from the left and here from using the right. And which one is accurate now?
The midpoint.
The midpoint. So we will close here this topic right now about how to use the 3 approximation, left, right, and midpoint. And before we start, guys, a new idea, I would like you to take a deep breath because we're gonna take only one question, I think, and fill in the attention. The second all way, guys, before the integration, which is the definition of definite integral. Ask me, guys, if you have any question here in this way. قبل ما نبدأ في next way. حد عنده مشكلة في هذه way? Tell me, guys, before we start in the next way.
Mr. I have a question بس.
Yes.
Mr. when we take مثلا left I get the left one but I didn't understand like ايش difference between left to right to middle like.
Midpoint. Good question. Draw على left بتفرق في الاختيار البوينتس بس. You cannot say that in left way, left rule, I used 3, 4.5, 6 and 7.5. بروح من الليفت ببدأ من اليسار من عند ال 3 واخد ال 3 واخد ال 4.5 وال 6 وال 7.5 only. باخد 4 points دايما. I have 5 points, take 4 of them. From the left ببدأ من الليفت اخد 4.
أي
From the right ببدأ من الرايت واخد 4. لا ولا ببدأ من الرايت يعني لازم تاخد 9 7.5 6 and 4.5.
وال9 ما بناخدها. ال9 ما بناخدها.
ده في الليفت ما بناخدها. في الليفت ببدأ من الليفت سايد اخد 3 4.5 6 and 7.5. F of يعني. Okay, in the midpoint you have to find the midpoint. You have to find the
And
midpoint.
as we said, Mr. إنه الميدل the most approximate one.
Yes, the middle أو the midpoint تكون the most accurate one. زي ما أنت شايف قريبة 1504 is nearer to 1620. But the area using the left endpoints rule أعطتنا 1134 يعني underestimate. And the area from the right يعني by using يعني the rightmost points طلعت 2187 اللي هي overestimate. Okay.
والميدل بناخد الميد بوينتس بين البوينتس وبنعملهم اد.
F of the midpoints, the summation of F of 3.75 which is.
طب مستر وهذا اللي على الرايت
وين هذا؟
اللي هو 16,000 أو 1600 what's this?
This is the using the integration, using the definite using the integration. This is the يعني تقول إيه آخر way, the latest way استعملوها. Okay. Let's move on, guys. بنعملها comparing to find the exact answer. This one on the right is the exact answer using the integration. Okay. Also, you can find your area, guys. Also, you can find your area. Yes, by using this rule. The limit as n approaches infinity of the summation of what? I equals 1 to n of delta x. براحتك تبدا دلتا، ايوه خلينا نبدا دلتا x I subscript I times f of x I. This is the first idea of the first what rule الكتاب بادئ بيه. ازاي مش عارف. Here's it. Directly it's given the rule. Okay. طيب. Let's move back to my what rule. هذه الرول to find the area is called the definition of definite integral. Using the definition of definite integral and Riemann sum. Okay, فيها limit وفيها summation. This symbol means the summation of sigma. Summation notation, يعني the plus. And before we start examples, لازم أكتب some rules here to help us solving our examples. First of all, our number one, delta x. And you know that delta x is the width of each subinterval. It's b minus a over
B
n.
minus A over N.
It's limit number one. The
Yeah.
second rule. The second rule. You have to know, guys, that what's the second rule? Yes, x. Yeah, from right and from left.
Yes.
From right and from left.
And middle.
لا from right and from left. And على فكرة always I'm gonna use from the right because it's less complicated than the left one. What's the xi here in the left and what's the xi in the right way? In the left it's a plus. A means you are finding طبعا the area between two bounded between two numbers or in a closed interval AB. So it's a plus delta x I. Okay, delta x times I minus 1 for the left. And that's why it's complicated than the right
X I
one.
قصدك X initial يعني.
I minus 1. Delta x multiplied by I minus 1.
مستقلنا وما فهمت شو هي الاي.
All rules. What's I? The number of what subintervals you have. Like here 3 is x0 and here the I will be I1, I2 and so on. Okay? نشوف اصلا الاي دلوقتي اعطيك رول عليه. xi here when you are finding the area by using the right way of this formula a equals a plus delta xi. Delta xi. What is I? We have to write also the summation or when I is 1 to n for any constant. For 9 مثلا. For 9 will be 9n. For 10 will be 10n. Summation for negative 10 will be negative 10. Okay? The summation when I is 1 to n, pay attention, for I only, it's equal to n into n plus 1. يعني
بس شو
replace.
الآي كمان مرة؟ Number of terms.
Yes.
What is I?
هذا rules كلها for the summation notation. I يعني like مثلا what's the summation when I is 1 to 5 of to 5, okay, of 3 to the power of 3. You know, I'm gonna do it one for I قصدي for I, I'm sorry, for I to the power of 3. يعني 1 to the power of 3 plus 2 to the power of 3 plus 3 to the power of 3 plus 4 to the power of 3 plus 5 to the power of 3. كان stop.
تمام.
Yes, yeah, like this expansion, the summation. طيب I 1 to n for I squared. For I squared it's n multiplied by n plus 1 multiplied by 2n plus 1 and this all over 6. هذه روت بس بتستخدمها يعني مالك دخل كام جات وكيف جات. I cubed equals so all to the power of 2, yes, and this all over 2. Okay, and it's استغفر الله العظيم. It's n times n plus 1. Yes, it's n times n plus 1 all squared.
على
اوكي طيب خلينا ناخد example to clarify this all rules وكده ونشوف how to use الكلام. The same function we used before, guys, in the previous question. Or the first question خالص we said it's x squared. Let's take a simple one. X squared in the closed interval 0 to 3. First, in only one step we can find عشان تعرف بس الفرق ما بين الطرق بتاعت زمان القديمة والطرق الحديثة. إن ال A هي مش حديثة قوي يعني. مثلا من إيه؟ 200 سنة. طيب A equal the integral
200 سنة.
from 0 to 3 هذا اللي short cut way يعني اللي هي from 0 to 3 الانتجريشن. أو أكتر.
Yes.
X squared dx equal طبعا it's simple here. Add 1 to the exponent, divide by the new exponent. وأنت مغمض from 0 to 3 and then simplify. Yes, when it's 3 gonna be 9 sorry 27 يعني over 3 which is 9, right? And then minus 0 square cubed over 3 which is 0. So my area now is what? Is 9. My area is what? Is 9. So this is
مستر
exactly.
ثاني بس ممكن تعيد، انا لخبطت بعد ما حطيت اكس كيوب اوفر 3.
تعمل
يا ابني
substitution.
انتجريشن طبيعي.
integration عادي طبعا هو فهمها عادي بس هو بيقول لك what you did after x cubed over 3 بتعمل substitution by using أو plug in 3 for x first يعني 3 to the power of 3 over 3 minus 0 power 3 over 3 تعمل substitution اللي فوق الأول minus اللي تحت 3 cubed 27 over 3 which is 9 minus 0 cubed over 3 which is 0 so your area now is 9. Okay.
تمام يا مستر.
طيب ده طبعا هنا عادي. طيب نيجي نشوف الابروكسيميشن ده how to estimate the area by using the definite integral definition اللي فوق ده. We have to find delta x first. Let me find first delta x equal b minus a over n. طبعا ال n كنا احنا بنقررها الكويستشنز اللي فاتت 4 5 6 here. No. Delta x equals b minus a which is 3 minus 0. You know that a is 0 and b is 3. 3 minus 0 over n. So delta x is 3 over n. Also, I need to find xi. طبعا اشتغل right, okay? عايز تشتغل left؟ ربنا معاك. Okay, right? So x sub I equal. No, I need x sub I also, so I will use the right formula,
اللي
which
هي
is a plus delta x I. طيب ال a 0 حلو plus مصلحة دلتا اكس اي
اللي هي 3 اوفر ان.
اللي هي 3 اي اوفر ان بقى الان 3 اوفر ان تايمز اي 3 اي اوفر ان. So my xi او x sub i is 3
3 اي اوفر
over
ان.
n يعني انا اعوض عنها بكده.
مستر
3
هون ال n انفينيتي.
لا
لا يا عم.
في الاخر خالص
لا.
بحطها انفينيتي.
مين ده؟
بس شوف هنروح ازاي. a equal pay attention please. Here is the limit as n approaches infinity. Or the summation from I to L. You have to write this all the same. Delta x, it's a 3 over L. Okay? And now f of xi طلعناها تحت ب 3i over L. What does it mean by f of something? F of 1, substitute 1 for, right? 1 squared, which is 1. F of 3, صارت 9. F of 9, 81. F of 6, 36. طب f of 3i over n يعني we have to substitute. So n
محل x
approaches
squared.
infinity, summation i equal 1 to n. ادي كمان 3 over n the same وبعدين اعمل لها squaring يعني squaring يبقى 3i over n to the power of 2 equals the limit as n approaches infinity and here I equals 1 to n or طبعا here when you expand this part would be 9i squared over n squared 3 over n times 9i squared over n squared which is simply equal to this all only equal the limit as n approaches infinity of the summation I equals 1 to n of 27 over n cubed and I squared up here. Okay. تمام. What does I squared equal? What is I squared equal? I squared السمشن تبعها I squared equal n plus 1 to n plus 1 over 6. So the next step is
مستر
to
انا
replace
عالي
I
اتفضل.
squared. Listen, I squared we have to replace it with what? With n.
مستر this thing you wrote in the left معانا ده ولا ده زيادة؟
On the left here.
The infinity and
Yes, is this all? ده كده معانا. So we will substitute عن ال I squared. So in the next slide I will copy only the
مستر
final
والله انا صراحة
step.
مش فاهم كيف جبتها، ممكن ترجع تعيد؟
حاضر اللي هي the limit
حتى انا يا
is-
مستر.
Which step?
والله مش فاهم.
Which step answer?
مستر هو
بس
في ستيب
الصراحة-
معينة فتنا بالحياة كله.
بس الصراحة
Yeah,
أنا
which
الليمت
step?
الليمت بس الصراحة أنا الليمت كله مستر.
Leave the limit right now. يعني it's
فهمته.
in the rule. Leave the limit and leave the summation. Okay, we are only substituting delta x 3 over n. Replace the delta x here in the rule.
يا مستر انا كل اللي على اليمين فهمته ما عدا من اول الليمت زي عمر.
Okay, here is a rule. Definition of definite integral. The limit n approaches infinity. Summation a equal 1 to n. Leave all the same. Replace delta x with 3 over n and replace f of xi. From the right side we جبنا ال xi 3i over n. أنا جبت f of 3i over n. يعني رحت substitute فين؟ في الفانكشن 3i over n all square مش الفانكشن f of x. Now f
حلو
of
كده.
3i over n which is 3i over n all square.
ايوه.
يبقى 3i over n all squared اللي هي 9i squared over n squared multiplied by 3 over n gives 27i squared over n cubed. حلو. Yes, so we have the limit n approaches infinity of I equals 1 to n of 27i squared over n cubed. But you know that the summation from I equal 1 to n for I squared معروفة equal n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 دي رول جاهزة للI summation للI squared over 6. فهنبدل بس substitute بدل الI squared. So the limit as n approaches infinity the summation نفسه for what؟ تعال 27 over n cubed and replace the I squared, the summation I squared. No, wait. Listen carefully, Shabab. Listen carefully. You can write it as the limit of what? Of 27 over n cubed multiplied by the summation I equal 1 to n أفصلهم يعني of I squared over. And then replace the summation of I squared by this value. هنشيل السمشن خلاص هنخلص منه. يبقى n approaches infinity. Yes, it's complicated. I squared is n times n plus 1 times 2n plus 1 and this all over 6. This all to calculate the area.
بعديها مستر بتعوض يعني بنمبر اللي انت عايزه.
لسه
كده
27 over n cubed اصبر على رزق times what؟ في عندك n times n plus 1 n times n plus 1 times 2n plus 1 يعني we have n squared
يعني عندك
plus
n squared plus n multiplied
times
2n
plus 1 over 6.
6.
Yes, the limit as n approaches infinity of 27 over n cubed and multiplying here by using the distributive property we're gonna get here 2n cubed plus 2n cubed
plus n squared
plus 2n squared.
plus n squared.
Yes عشان لو ربطنا هنا تبقى صباح. Yes
plus n squared
plus n squared. Yes.
plus 2n cubed
plus 2n we wrote 2n cubed. 2n cubed plus n squared plus 2n squared.
sorry squared اللي هي دي.
plus n
plus 1 plus n
plus n
plus n
yes
plus
times 6 here. Yes. So the limit as n approaches infinity, pay attention please, for 27 over 6 is n cubed, and up here we can add like terms n squared and 2n squared 3n squared.
صحيح.
So we have 2n cubed plus 3n squared plus n. And now the limit as n approaches infinity, we can take n common factor. Yes, we can take n common factor again. And we have 2n squared plus 3n plus 1, and this all over 6n cubed. Cross
Now
out
we
the
factor
n with the square, the cubed. It's all
هتبقى
calculations.
نيجاتيف
Yeah.
هتبقى نيجاتيف.
No, not negative. Yeah, cancel n will be n squared down. So we have 27 بقت n squared, and up here 2n squared plus 3n plus 1. Pay attention, please, guys. I will write 27 over 6 outside, and then find the limit n approaches infinity of 2n squared over n squared gives what? 2. Okay,
بس اسوي لوبيتال رول.
3n over n squared is 3 over n. Okay, plus 1 over n squared, right? Yeah, again, 27 over 6, we take it outside. And then we write it as the sum of what? 3 terms. 2n squared over n squared is 2. Plus 3n over n squared is 3 over n plus 1 over n squared. In the first term, the limit as x approaches infinity for a constant over x equals approaches infinity. يعني تخيل 9 over infinity gives 0.
لوبيتال رول ولا لا؟
No. تعال هنا. طبعا you can بس هنا سهله مش محتاجه. انا عندي في fact في limits at infinity ان a number over infinity gives 0. Like 9 over a very large number gives 0.0000 something.
Yes, 0.
اوكي.
برضه اللي جنبيها على فكره ولا لا؟ 1 over n squared 0 برضه اتوقع ولا لا؟
هي divide بس we can divide here. Divide the n 2n squared by n squared is 2 and 3n. Yes. So it's simply
ممكن
here.
اسال سؤال غبي؟
Yes. Simply guys. خلينا بس finish the question. 27 over 6 constant. I will let you to ask بس wait. وبعدين طبعا تقدر تاخذ الليمت for each term يعني تقول حاله. بعدين plus the limit as n approaches infinity for 3 over n plus the limit as n approaches infinity of 1 over n squared. المهم يا شباب ان بيطلع لك كل اللي فيهم 1 يعني كل اللي فيهم n تحت في الدينومينيتور بزيرو يعني this بزيرو and this one بزيرو based on the fact I said now. The limit as x approaches infinity for a number constant over x equals 0. So this all 0. This equals 0 and this equals 0. So I still have 27 over 6. The limit of a constant حتى لو x approaches anything gives it the same constant 2. And now 27 times 2 divided by 6 gives a 9. Gives a 9. If we move back, what's the first step we did? Only one step. Gives my area is what? Is 9.
اقسم بالله يا مستر اللي اخترع الانتجريشن ده الديفينيت انتجرال وحش.
Yes, ما هو بدأت كده. بدأت بالسمشن كده وبعدين. Okay, so what is your question, Mr.?
Yes, Mr. My question is لما تشوف على تاني رو فوق 27 over n cubed كان في I جنب 27 وين راحت؟
Square, not I.
ايوه وين اختفت هاي في الرول اللي بعدها؟
يا حبيبي انا فصلت السمشن خدت سمشن الاي 1 لحد الان الاي سكوير تايمز 27 over n cube because 27 over n cube طلعناها بره يعني خدت سمشن اي سكوير حولنا بقى كله شلنا هذا كله السمشن when i 1 لحد n الاي سكوير بكل هذا الرول.
اوكي مستر ثانك يو.
بس شلت كل هذا وحطيت هذا مكان. بعدين قعدنا نعمل multiply بقى و distributive property و combining alike terms and then here factoring out cross out n with n cubed تعمل simplify لحد ما توصل للفاكت دي ودي هيحصل مع كل الكويستشنز لو انت تستعمل real sums and the definition of what of definite integral this one. Any question?
No, Mr. Very easy.
Let's take one more example, guys, on the function outdoor classwork by using this formula a equal the limit as n approaches infinity of the summation when I is 1 to n delta xi
يا
f of xi.
مستر
Yes.
طويلة.
بس خلينا نحل مع بعضينا عشان لسه احنا مبتدئين.
f of x
فعلا يا مستر صراحة ما دخلت مخنا كثير.
f of x, yes, like f of x equals 5x minus 1. Let's say on the closed interval from 1 to 3. Yes. يلا. Think guys of this question. نبدأ. What's the first step? يلا مش حاجة صعبة. اسمها عادي.
اوكي first step يا مستر we find it through the indefinite integral ولا لا؟
طيب yes. Del a equal the integral from 1 to 3 of what?
5x minus 1 هتبقى 5x squared over 2.
Yes, 5 x
Minus
squared
x.
over 2 minus x. And this all from 1 to 3. From 1 to 3. Yes.
Yes, then let me
هنعمل بليس.
Rahman,
yes mister.
calculate it يلا.
يلا معاك.
5 over 2x squared.
أول رقم هيكون 19.5 اللي هو 3.
Yes, 19.5 divided by 2 كله.
وتاني رقم هيكون 1.5. إذا 19.5 minus 1.5 equal 18.
equals 18.
Yeah.
حلو. خليكم فاكرين بقى الانسر عشان هنغيب عنها كتير. لسه هنروح نجيب بقى الفورمولا. فان دلتا اكس b minus a over n.
Yes
Here
صحيح.
is the a, here is the b. So the b is 3 minus 1 over n, which is 2 over n. So delta x equals 2 over n.
Mister, before we go any further أنا ما فهمت أول واحدة. بقول لك إيه.
Which one? Here?
ال 5x squared over 2 اللي هي كيف صارت 19.5.
He substituted 3 for x, so it's 9 times 5, which is 45, divided by 2.
تمام.
Not 19.
وال 1.5.
Rahman, calculate it again. Don't think so. It's
إيش مستر؟
It should be 9 times 5, 45 divided by 2. It's 22.5, not 19.5. Minus 1.5, it's 21. So the first step is not correct.
ثواني. مستر صح. أنا صح مش فاهم. I'm correct.
When you substitute 3 here,
Yeah.
x squared gives a 9.
Yes.
9 times 5, 45.
طيب.
45 divided 2 is 22.
Yes 22.5 minus 3 19.5.
Minus 3. Yes, you are correct. I'm sorry.
Yes.
لا فصلنا احنا. طيب it's 18. لا فاهم.
أنا ما اعترضت بس مش فاهم كيف إيش ال 1.5.
Substitution بس. The 1.5 is 5 times 1 squared is 5 over 2 يعني 2.5. 2.5 minus 1 is 1.5. تعمل substitute here. Plug in 1 for x. So it's 5 over 2. 2.5 يعني minus 1 gives 1.5.
Okay, no,
It's 18.
شكرا.
So complete this question, guys, using this fact. Okay, these rules. So take a screenshot, please. عشان تاخد الرولز اللي على اليمين دي كلها. And complete this question as a homework. 5x minus 1 in the closed interval 1 to 3 using the definition of the definite.
مستر هو في كل الأحوال الحصة موجودة في الفيو كلاس صح؟
Yes, على طول بتترفع بس انت خليك تشوف. خد هذا سكرين شوت to be able to complete this question. اوكي يا شباب.
اوكي ثانك يو يا مستر.
ماشي، السلام عليكم. نشوفكم ان شاء الله.
إن شاء الله.